Let me tell you, when I think sexual and intimacy, I'm not going the Oprah route. That just doesn't seem like that's who Oprah is to us, right?
But we all have that side to us. We just don't show it. So does Oprah.
But Oprah's so prim and proper, and her legs crossed, and she's talking how Oprah talks, and it just doesn't work for me.
I'm torn about this because I think it's great. Like, just because she's older, why should she not be able to talk about her sexual experiences?
100%.
So I come from the power side of it. At the same time, we all grew up watching Oprah, so she's like my auntie, mama, sister. And so I'm like, I don't want to hear about, my auntie mama's sexual stories.
I agree.
So relatable, though.
Yeah.
But you know where I would want to see Oprah and Gayle as well in that vein is how Wendy Williams sits on the couch and takes questions from the audience and tells them maybe what they should do with that guy who lied about their job. Or
I would they do advice on this.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. That's the part of the show that when they do that, and they even mention that as one of the examples, is a guy who's lied about having a certain job.
So you want to hear less of their experience.
I don't want to hear sexual Oprah. I want to hear, though, life. I want her to be that person who she's been to America for so long.
Yeah.
The person who guides you along on this path. So if there's a guy who's cheated on you once, or a woman who is using you for your money.
Yes.
Oprah, what should I do? Gayle, help me out.
Yeah,
and I think you've got a
Can
home
you
run
imagine
there.
getting advice from her too? Like writing in and then having her answer.
She tells you what her favorite things are, and everybody buys it by the masses. So advice would be perfect, right?
Yeah, I love her. I've studied Oprah. She has helped me shape my career. I hope I get to meet her one day. This is something I'll definitely be tuned in. We're seeing more and more internet shows just kind of take the bars off of life and different conversations and having this free, open space to communicate and connect. Like I think about it when I think about the Red Table Talk with Jada Pinkett Smith and her mother and her daughter, with a multi-generational conversation of what it's like to be a woman in America today. And so this seems like another version of that, with different cast, of course, that I'm going to be tuned in on.
I love YouTube so much for this too, because it's like no one has to give you permission to have a show that you want to start. So you can tell, like Oprah and Gayle, they wanted to do the show, so they're just doing it and they're putting it out on YouTube,
Yeah, so I agree with you wholeheartedly. It makes you feel like you're closer to those unattainable or stars you don't have access to.
Yeah.
And it's like they're directly talking to you, whereas you put Oprah on her TV screen with her daytime morning or talk show, I don't know what you'd even call the Oprah shows, its own beast talk show. You felt like you had a piece of her, like she was in your home. Well, now you really feel like she's looking at you and talking to you, and I think that's really interesting. So I guess it'd be a huge success, bigger than Table Talk, which has been a wild success.
I can't wait to see.
Another one we feel like we can't wait to see is the reality TV look, and it's the Real Housewives of New Jersey. Melissa Gorga is involved in this one, and her husband Joe. So they took the kids out to dinner for their youngest son's birthday, right? While talking about their careers, things took a turn for the bit tense. Take a look.
You want to build buildings, make some big money, or you want to sell a shirt?
That's not nice.
Tony, you better look at the prices. You got to see what you can afford owning a boutique. See, I don't look at the prices.
Hello, Joe. You're insulting me. Like, I'm sitting right here.
I'm not insulting you.
No, it's kind of rude. It's your son's birthday. Don't be rude.
I'm just...
Stop, Dan. Joe, stop.
In retail, you only make enough money to wear clothes.
Listen to me. Nothing irks my skin more than what you just did.
Oh my gosh.
Mean. That is so disrespectful.
Joe is kind of like, he's kind of like he likes to bust on people. He's a jokester, but there's an underlying jealousy, I think, of his wife's success that kind of showed itself in front of the kids right there. There's an uncomfortable thing to watch. I've had, disagreements with people in my life in front of my child. I try to remove my child whenever any of that stuff goes on. I definitely don't take slights at people in front of a loved one, because I think you're setting the wrong example for his young son and his young daughter sitting there. And if you watch a man disrespect a woman there, it becomes commonplace for those children.
But this isn't just any old argument. Like, people argue all the time. We argue here on this show. Like, this isn't any This isn't any old argument. When you're cutting deep, when you are slighting someone, when you're going for the jugular, there's another problem there. And to show that in front of children, what I just watched, I feel like that was abusive. That was verbally abusive to that mother and those children sitting right there. And you heard the daughter chime in and say, Dad, stop.
Yeah.
Like she's seeing all of this. And kudos to the mom for sticking up for herself. I don't know if, it seems like this has other things she's let slide before to get to this point, because my husband would never talk to me in this manner. But she stood up for herself on camera and in front of her children. And I think that's setting an awesome example.
Yeah.
You teach people how to treat you. Something else has to happen there.
I mean, you said it. Like the kids seeing this, like their parents are not setting a good example. Like that is not a good example of how a man and a woman should communicate, or anyone in a relationship, for that matter. So for kids who are listening to everything, they're learning so fast. They're listening to their parents and watching this like modeled for them. That is not a good example.
Yeah, it was uncomfortable to watch.
Yeah.
On like so many different levels.
And as a father and as a man, you're almost sitting there saying, all right, Joe, you took a wrong turn.
Yeah.
Kick it in reverse and go down the right path. And he just kind of doubled down on it, which was really
like
awkward to see.
3-4 times is the problem. Because usually your partner is like, okay, that's enough. And you kind of heed to it.
Yeah.
He kept going, forging past.
And I have to say,
it was disgusting.
Well, he's one of the most likable male characters on some of the reality TV shows. So it's kind of weird to watch him in that vein. But again, it goes back to, if you watch the show, Joe is a jealous guy by nature, and I think it's that his wife's gone out of the home.
Yeah.
She's got her own thing going right now. And I think he's letting his jealousy come to light in the most unfortunate of circumstances here.
It's just the same old song. Like, I'm tired of having to dim my light because of a man that's insecure with what he has going on in his life. Like, it's just 1,000% disgusting.
You got it from here.
Yeah.
I mean, you nailed it. That's absolutely right.
I'm getting riled up.